you. All right, so this is Brian Scolaro, one of my favorite people and favorite comics, and he was a frequent guest on Grand Theft Audio, but he remembers more Grown Ass Men, which was especially in my apartment. We also did Grown Ass Men downtown LA, yeah, did about 100 episodes in my apartment also, and yeah. So I guess Brian, what are your overall memories, and then I'll give you a couple questions.
That you were, well, my memories of Grand Theft Audio were that you were three great guys, but horribly disorganized. It was like I was being called. I was like, yeah, I'll do an interview, and then it's like, what's happening here? It was almost like you're falling asleep as you're talking to me because you have narcolepsy. We had narcolepsy at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So Carl's interviewing me, and he's falling asleep while he's talking to me. I'm like, this is, I was on television. This is weird. Remember, you had a Grand Theft Audio had a comedy show. We did a comedy show once, and the guy before me did a bunch of Asian jokes, and he wasn't Asian. And then I went on, and Carl fell asleep for my whole show, and then I woke up and said, "I can't believe you did all those Asian jokes." And I was like, "That wasn't me, you fucking lunatic." So, but also, and then I got heckled by I got heckled by one of the cast members of Grand Theft Audio who came in, started heckling me. He didn't even hear me. I'm like, what's happening? I mean, it was so horribly wrong, but they were good guys. Then he wrote to me and apologized. And Carl was like, yeah, I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I have narcolepsy. I'm like, oh, okay. So it definitely was a mess, but enjoyable. I kept going back because it was something interesting about it, because it was almost, I used to work with mentally challenged people. So working with you guys was very similar. So there's a lot of patience involved, and it's almost like it's okay. Remember the Chris Farley show? The Chris Farley, we had the Chris Farley show on Saturday Night Live. We'd be like, he would interview Martin Scorsese. You remember this scene? Remember this scene where you did this? Where you wrote the scene where in Cape Fear, he goes, come out wherever you are. I was like, yeah, that was awesome. It was a lot like that. Being interviewed by you was a lot like that. And I was like, it's okay, it's going good. It's going good. It was a lot of me encouraging you while I'm doing you the favor. It was weird. But I remember once you were like, hey, I love your garbage truck joke. I'm like, thank you. Could you do it? I'm like, well, that's a hell of a setup. Like, okay. It just was so uncomfortable. Like, okay, here's the joke. It was weird. And but also I remember doing your other show in your apartment. And I thought I was messy. Like right now my apartment looks fine. There's a pillow over there, there's a couch, but the rest of it is a disaster. But your apartment was almost like a dump, like a garbage dump. What? And I was like, can I get a glass of water? You're like, oh, I don't really have glasses. I'm like, you don't have glasses. So I walked into the kitchen, and there in the sink, you couldn't even see the sink. It was just piled up with dishes and cups. It was piled. And I'm like, you don't have a cup? Like, have you done one dish? It looked like you hadn't done one dish, but yet you were keeping a dish collection after you used it. I was like, you couldn't, I mean, I've never seen it like that. And I'm like, how does this guy have friends? It doesn't seem like how you dress yourself. But it was fun at the same time. But I left, being interviewed by you is fun because I always leave feeling better about myself. Like, well, my career may be slowing down at times, but at least I'm not that guy.
Oh,
it's a joke. You don't have to be funny. I'm being funny.
I know. Yeah. Oh man. So I guess boy, I don't know. That was pretty perfect for the whole thing. So are you cool if I just stop it there?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that was perfect. Hang on, let me pause it. I'll keep talking to you though.
Yeah. That's good because I have a voiceover.